Hello my friends and welcome back to the channel. My name is Magnus and today we will be showcasing Redthorn's April CWL season. Today we're going to look at 14 attacks delivered across the 7 days to demonstrate some of the strong players that call Redthorn home. Let's get into it. Our first attack will come from Maximus, who will be utilizing the super bowlers. We do have the Dragon Duke over at this 8 o'clock section with a Yeti working on a funnel. We seem to be just clearing out this side alleyway. Duke putting in quite a bit of work here, getting a lot of great value. Ice Storm's coming down in front of the super bowlers. Our Grand Warden trailing in behind. We've got the advanced poison down for the defensive clan castle, utilizing the Queen's giant arrow right away. Barbarian King will be used to help flank for her. We're pushing our way through, utilizing the Grand Warden's ability. Super bowlers are going to push their way into now the core of the base, beating through these infernal towers. We've got our Barbarian King still putting in work, the Snake Bracelet, bringing in some slithery support. Super Bowler bounces getting a lot of great value here as we're demolishing this base. One of the fire spitters falling down. Little break on the super bowlers. We've got 2 on the outside, 2 in the core. We do get the revenge tower down. Now setting our targets onto this other fire spitter. Duke still up, putting in some work. And looking at this, Maximus is going to overrun this base with these destructive boulders. Our second attack will come in from 16, utilizing the rocket balloons, dragon riders. We've got the siege barracks down with the archer queen over at the 9 o'clock. Some dragons at the top, dragon riders coming in with the inferno dragons, and our warden and minion prince pushing in behind the fire spitter. We've got that back end overgrowth to prevent our push from taking in any necessary damage at this point. Utilizing the minion prince, we're going to stun the back end of this base. Rocket balloons coming in. We're going to have those overrun the Tesla farm that have popped up over at the 8 o'clock in towards that revenge tower. That will fall down. The super minions that came out of the siege barracks supporting this back end push. We've got a totem coming down. We're looking to distract these defenses as we get the cannon and the spitter down. We're going to freeze these final defenses. The fire spitter finally goes down. Not much remains in the realm of air targeting defenses. We have an archer tower and a wizard tower remaining. We will 2x this as we will push through the remaining cleanup as 16 brings in a triple in day 1 of CWL for Redthorn. Beginning our day 2 attacks, we have Gray, who is utilizing the ever popular thrower army. We have a warden down at the top, sending in some rocket balloons to take on that mortar, working to establish the pathing for our warden. We pop the double invis, launching the fireball. We do clear out most of this compartment. We still have that cannon up, but we're going to send in our throwers, pulling our warden down. We're going to walk away around clockwise in this base. On the north side, we do have the Duke as well as the Barbarian King. King's going to distract a lot of these defensive heroes as well as these structures. The Duke is taking a lot of damage at this point, though. Getting tied up here, we get that Revenge Tower down. Keeps getting turned around by the defensive clan castle. Duke turns around, gets that minion prince. Just gonna keep working. We're gonna get the compartment at the top, though. The feature down here still is the throwers, pushing our way through a lot of DPS down at this southern section of this base. We've got some throwers that broke into the walls. Their reach will help with this back end, as we have a few on the bottom end. Nope, I lied. That is a Super Yeti with the Archer Queen. We will push through as the throwers in the middle of the compartment here in the middle of this base will come in, reaching over. We do get that scatter shot. We did delay a bit of this here with the overgrowth over the remaining 3 defensive structures. But that buys time for us to get the defensive Archer Queen. Now turning it around, we're going to aggro onto the defending Barbarian King. Throwers are going to work to get the Town Hall. Just kidding, they're going to turn around. We will have them work on the Inferno Tower for the 3-star. We have Pullman coming in with a thrower army with the Super Witches. Warden established over at the 3 o'clock corner with the furnaces. These will be supported by the Warden's push and the healers. A little further down, looks like we've got our Archer Queen as well as the Duke. Apologies, that's not the Queen, that is the Barbarian King with the Duke. Pushing through, we'll get quite a bit of value here. Our main push is now going to enter into the 4 o'clock area, coming in behind the Fire Spitter. We aggro on to the defending Queen. We are aggroed by the second Fire Spitter, hitting a lot of these structures. Duke goes down with the Phoenix on Revive. We'll clear out a little bit of extra damage here. We revive the Duke. We get the defending Royal Champion down, as well as that Spitter. Our Smash army moving its way counterclockwise on the top side of this base now. Carefully deploying these totem spells to distract these critical defenses so that Poloman can come in here, allowing his army to reach over these walls, securing these defenses as we push ever closer towards this 3-star. Breaking into this last compartment, we do get the Archer Tower and Air Defense to fall down. Looking out onto this base, we see a single Archer Tower as well as the mortar. Everything is going to converge down to this section of this base as Pullman is going to round up another triple for Redthorn. Starting our day 3, we are going to look at an attack coming from Michigan. Michigan deploying a Warden Walk over at the 3 o'clock side. We've got our furnaces over at we've got one over at 9. We've got one over at 3. Establishing just a small little bit of a funnel here. Another one over at the 12. Warden's going to move his way towards the northern side of the base. Looks like we're going to ice our Grand Warden using a fireball. We're going to throw that into the core. We do secure the Revenge Tower, and then we will push now towards this top section to get out some of these remaining defenses here. Zooming out, we can see that we have a main push army coming in now with the Barbarian King, the Queen, and a log launcher. Warden's going to put in some work supporting here. We are going to pop and redeploy so that the Warden can get the top side of this base as Michigan continues to push in on the bottom section in towards this town hall. Rocket balloons coming in to get some of these back end defenses. Now deploying the Duke to work around the perimeter of this base. And we're going to deploy our final 2 furnaces over at the 9 o'clock as this multi-archer tower is going to be distracted by a bit of our push here. Duke's going to overrun it. Now pushing into our final compartment. Hitting it from both sides as the Fire Spitter will be distracted by the Warden walk. Our Duke coming in behind will overrun that. We do get the monolith to finally fall down as everything locks onto that air defense, and Michigan will bring in a 3-star. In this next attack, we are going to look at a Warden walk thrower smash from Eternity. Coming in at the 12 o'clock corner, we're moving in towards this burst cannon. We're going to make short work of that, pushing our way now deeper into this compartment. Deploying some headhunters so that we can make short work of these 2 defending heroes. Main prince will go down, as will the Barbarian King. We've got our King and our Queen now working on the flanks of this base as we push everything in towards the 1 o'clock main push here, with the throwers coming down into the scouter shot compartment. With these throwers entering the core of the base, they're going to have full access to everything. Duke is putting in quite a bit of work here, hitting these cannons. These throwers are hitting the multi-infernos, the cannons, just making extremely short work of this base. Everything is getting overrun. We still have a number of spells remaining. Utilizing one of them now on the monolith with that skeleton spell, utilizing the Barbarian King's ability, popping now that totem to just momentarily distract these defenses, allowing our main push to converge with our heroes, getting these final defenses down as Eternity is going to come in with a 3-star for Redthorn. Beginning our day 4 review, we have our first attack coming from Wimmy, also utilizing the Thrower Super Witch army. So we have the Grand Warden Walk coming in at the corner. We're going to take some time here as the Warden's going to work through this value, getting the expo as well as through these big hefty storages. We get that structure down. Down come the throwers with the super witches, the heroes otherwise all coming in at the bottom section here. Looks like a little bit of a split though due to the clan castle pull. We have one thrower up to the top. Everything else looks like it's going to drop down with our hero smash. And sure enough, down they come. Few broke into the wall. We will get the fire spitter to drop down. Majority of the army now down at the bottom of this base though, so we will keep an eye on this flank here, but we will focus primarily down on the lower half of this base. The super witches and the heroes securing the town hall. Then we're going to reach over so that we can get the defending guardian and the inferno tower. Super Yeti on the outside with some of these snakes and the big boys from the super witch. Duke is going to power through here, dropping a totem. We're going to catch that poison tower. Throwers have finally broken through the wall, helping with this back end push, but they do get turned around due to the air skellies. Off on the far side of this base though, we have the Barbarian King with those snakes, putting in some work, working on distraction, top end cleanup starting as the baby dragon is going to help with this, now using the spiky ball. This base is going to collapse as Wimmy is going to lock in that 3-star. In this next attack, we're going to feature the leader of Redthorn, none other than Cat, who is coming in also with a thrower army. We have that coming down right away over at the lower section of this base, putting the log launcher right on the town hall. We have popped that invis tower. So with the distraction, the throwers are going to work on clearing out a bit of this pathway. Some are going to pull down to the left section. Some are going to pull up towards the wizard tower. We do have the Duke and a baby dragon on the top side of this base, so they're going to work around getting some of these defenses here. But everything's going to push right up the middle of this base. Now we've lured up the clan castle. Looks like a plethora of headhunters locking right onto the archer queen. Popping that, we do use the mirror equipment. Throwers are going to come into the center area of this base, right into the line of sight of 2 throwers. Finding the tornado trap though, we will get the first fire spitter to fall down. Second one's now going to drop. Snakes making short work of that inferno tower as they run over these walls. And just watching everything here, these throwers are shooting those spears super far. Defenses are collapsing left and right. Duke is still up, putting in some incredible work here. Just one-shotting all of these structures as Cat's going to lock in that triple. Into our day 5 coverage, we have Kronk, or 1,000 Kronks as he's known, utilizing the Warden Walk Thrower and Super Witch composition. Our Warden Walk is going to push in onto this 3 o'clock corner as we take care of the big damage compartment here. Utilizing that totem, though, we're going to distract these defenses, allowing Kronk to put in some work here to secure the builder hut, the archer tower, working on the cannon. Throwers are going to come in, pulling the warden out of harm's way. We've got our king and queen coming down, Duke at the very top. We are getting tied up a little bit by this clan castle, but not for very long. Rage coming in now as we are going to push our clan castle and throwers deeper into this base. So the throwers now entering the core. However, we do trigger a tornado trap. They will go round and round for a second here. Fire Spitter on the top side here is locked onto our our Dragon Duke and our, looks like our Queen's clones. But that worked out quite well, allowing our throwers to hit it with absolute ease. These throwers are just putting in absolute work. Their reach is second to none. We're going to collapse that monolith, getting that Tesla, that revenge tower. We've stunned the Tesla here. That's going to fall down due to the thrower's reach. And looking here, we've got the Warden and a Super Witch over on the 3 o'clock. An Angry Duke over on the left with the throwers and a Super Yeti, with 2 structures remaining, being the Archer Tower that just went down and a Wizard Tower. Kronk is going to come in, swag him some spells, bringing in a triple. In this attack, we're going to show DD's Mass Thrower Army. Log Launcher coming down, Barbarian King over at the 1 o'clock, Super Wall Breaker gaining access. Duke is going to come in. We've locked onto that Archer Queen right away. She's just going to melt due to his massive OPness. These throwers under the Rage Gem are just going to be absolutely beefed up. Very angry, very far reach, doing a lot of damage. Over on the far side of this base, we've got the Archer Queen putting in some work, getting the monolith, getting some storages, working on the Inferno Tower and the combined Wizard Tower. Focusing here on our main push, though, Duke and Barbarian King clearing out these final structures over in the 3 o'clock. Throwers still in the middle of this base, getting absolute just OP reach and devastation. One over at the top. These ones are going to get the Town Hall and the Builder Hut. Our main push here coming down, yet getting these final structures. Duke is going to get that Archer Tower. These throwers are going to get the Expo and the last Archer Tower, and DD is going to just overrun this base with a triple, with just the Mass Thrower Army. Now moving to day 6, we have our OG Kronk of Redthorn, different from 1,000 Kronks, utilizing the Mass Thrower Army. They're all going to be deployed down to the bottom of this base. They're long spears being shot around. They're going to secure the funnel here, now pushing in towards the bottom compartment here. Log Launcher coming in. Everything's going to move its way north side of this base. We've got the Archer Queen on the left, Barbarian King on the right. Warden supporting the charge into the middle of this base. Town Hall is going to fall, as will these Wizard Towers. The Royal Champion now working on the side-based defenses such as the Expo, the Archer Tower, allowing the pathing for these throwers to become much more peak for them, moving their way up. We're going to get that lava launcher, covering the back end with a totem and a freeze, distracting the revenge tower. That's going to fall down due to the long reach. Fire spitters are going to get tied up here with some of our structures, some of our troops, but we will get one of them down due to the royal champion. The other one's going to fall from our throwers. Everything now pushing its way north. Throwers in the middle, throwers on the right, heroes on the left, as we are going to overrun these cannons, the Inferno Tower, the defending hero, and then these final two bomb towers as Kronk will clutch up that 3-star for Redthorn. In this attack, we have King Redbeard coming in with the Warden Walk into the throwers. Got that Coco Loon pair coming in at the 9 o'clock. Skelly Spell distracting some of these defenses with the Monolith, the Expo, and the defending minion Prince. Totem Spell comes down, taking some of the focus. We've got the furnaces behind the Warden. Now the throwers and a log launcher being deployed a little bit further down with our Queen and Duke coming in at the 6 o'clock. Defending Duke, very low level here, so King Redbeards will overwhelm it with absolute ease. Log launchers opened up a very big portion of this base. Throwers now entering into this open compartment, taking on the double spitters. Utilizing our totem spells to distract these expos and spitters with their long reach. The throwers will throw those spears, taking care of both set of spitters. I believe actually the Dragon Duke got the lower one, will continue pushing its way up to take on the Revenge Tower. We have our main push of throwers in the core taking on these expos. Taking some damage from the scatter with the healers backing them up, though we keep them up at full health. Throwing in a totem spell to distract, allowing the throwers some time to deal with the defending Archer Queen and now get through these walls. We're going to reach over, get the air defense. We will have to get that spell tower and then beat through some more walls. Up on the top side, our Dragon Duke still putting in a whole ton of work. Popping our Archer Queen ability, we do have the clones and the giant, and at this point it's just an overwhelming, crushing 3-star with King Redbeard bringing in the throwers for Redthorn. In this next attack, we have Spence, who is also coming in with the Warden Walk Thrower Smash, with the Warden being deployed down at the bottom section of this base. Furnaces in behind, helping to establish some of the pathing, keeping the Warden pushing its way deeper into this bottom compartment. We're now taking on some damage. Warden is ebbing in and out of the expos and the Archer Towers. We're going to throw in our throwers here with a super wall breaker opening up this compartment. On the opposite side of the base, we do have our King and our Archer Queen, who will be working on some of the outer structures here. Queen will be entering in to take on the defenses in the Builder Hut, the Spitter, and the Expo. We've got our throwers now entering the core of the base, getting slowed down here as they entered into a poison tower. Overgrowth is going to wear out here as we now take on a lava launcher and the monolith utilizing the totem here to distract those defenses so that the throwers can do what they need to do, taking on the scatter shot, the monolith, the Inferno Tower, and the Teslas. We've got our Dragon Duke pushing north into this base. Throwers are being distracted by the defending, looks like a clan castle there. Queen stuck up on the wall. She's going to join everything here, popping the ability, finding a bomb and another bomb, taking on the Expo and the scatter shot. We now take on the Revenge Tower, a Guardian, a defending pair of heroes with our Dragon Duke and our throwers. Queen still doing in some, putting in some work here. We get the defending Queen to finally drop. Duke locks onto the Town Hall. That falls with absolute ease. We're going to roll over these remaining structures as Spence is going to come in with that 3-star without ever utilizing the Warden's ability. Our closing attack is going to come from Smitty, who is utilizing the Super Dragons, the Archer Queen, and the Dragon Duke. Super Dragons are going to come down. Duke's pushing its way through the 6 o'clock compartment. We've got the Queen up at the top. Dragons are going to push their way through the funnel that's been established by these Royals. Taking a bit of damage, though, from the Spitter, the Builder Hut, the Inferno Tower, and we're pushing through, so Tome had to be used. Buying our dragons some time. We've now locked onto the defending minion prince. That falls down. Looking in the bottom section of this base, the Dragon Duke's putting in some work here. The only structure that can really deal with it is, in fact, that Expo. Sorry, not Expo, but Archer Tower. So the Duke will take on that, and we'll focus on these dragons, which appear to be fading out at the top. We've lost essentially all of them, with the exception of the one behind the Dragon Duke. Our own minion prince putting in some work here. He goes down. Phoenix is going to bring him back. And at this point, it's just a matter of timing for Smitty, holding on to 6 revive spells. Now, as Smitty's putting in the work here, he is also a content creator, putting out content for the Clash Files family, Redthorn, and Sons of Guns. So do make sure to check out his channel. I will be leaving a link to that down in the description. Make sure you say that Magnus said hi. So we're going to move up here. We've used one of our revives, bringing back the minion prince. Duke's on the outside, putting in a ton of work here. 2 Teslas and a cannon remaining. We're going to overrun these final structures, and Smitty's going to come in with that triple, swagging 5 of his revives. And with that, Redthorn promoted to Champion League 1. Beating out their competition by 3 stars. It was a very, very close war all the way through. And going 6 for 7 out of the entire week. A lot of these wars ended up coming down to tiebreakers, with Redthorn having the advantage. And so this concludes today's video. I do hope you enjoyed the competition here thrown up by Redthorn. If you'd like to join them, a link will be down in the description of this video. If you haven't already, please do make sure to also like, subscribe, and leave a comment on the video. Until next time, guys, take care.